quick video on Ti-Nspire animated graphs. In this case, I'm not doing 3D, so some of you probably just clicked off. But other graphs can be animated also, and it's actually relatively easy. This is all I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put in this function. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build this slider first, and it'll make sense to you in just a second. So I went to menu, I went to actions, went to menu, went to actions, went insert slider. To show you what that would have looked like, I would have gone to menu. It would have given me I would have gone to here, menu, and it would have given me actions. I would have gone over to sliders, and I would have chosen that. I can put this thing anywhere. I'm going to put it here. If you don't mind, I'm going to call, you have to name that thing, and I'm going to name it H in this case, if you don't mind. And that's good. I know it, you're like, you didn't do anything. I know. Check this out. I'm going to do the same thing again. Went to menu, pulled down this screen here. Actions, from actions, I went to insert slider. So I'm inserting another slider. Here it is here. This is going to really be good. So just give this a second. And then I'm going to call this one K. This is a very, very simple example. K. All right? So I get right now you're saying not much is going on here. And you're right. But look what happens now. I type in this function that I'm interested in. I'm going to type in a parabola. So it's x minus h, isn't it? But look what happens when I type in the h. The h comes in bold, right? Then from my calculator, I'm going to go ahead and square that, right? And then we know that it's plus k, isn't it? If you see, k also came in bold, right? So right now, I see that you're not impressed, except for the fact that h is 5, and we're over here, which would make it x minus 5. So let's look what happens. I go to my first slider. Go to my first slider here, and say animate. And you can see that it's moving this thing down. I think what might really help me here is this, if I adjust this thing over to 0. Right? So now we can say, well, what effect does this thing have? We can stop it any place we want, so we can stop it right there. And we can test what x value this is. Right? And this is x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it would be x minus 7. So that says something to us, doesn't it? Or, if we wanted to, we could look at it this way. We could move this thing back. See, I'm just picking up the slider and moving the whole graph back. Say, well, what happens if on this function we change the value of k? So right now the value of k is 0, right? So if I animate this, then it will go from k is 0 to k is 10, one step at a time. Now, of course, I probably should have set this thing to 6 because it doesn't help, does it? All right. And if you really wanted to get stupid with it, you could animate both of them, right? So we can animate them both at the same time. And now we can see this thing moving around, remembering that we can pause at any place we want. So this is kind of a cool way to set up. This is kind of a cool way to set up an equation to show somebody or to illustrate what your point is. I think your professor would think it was pretty cool if you actually, or your teacher would think it was pretty cool if you said, here's this function, and he or she says, well, what happens as k changes? And you say, well, this is what happens. Put h at 0, and if k changes, that's what happens. It's a pretty good illustration. So I'm going to show you some other stuff, how to use this. Hope it's helpful, and thanks for watching the videos. Your comments are great. Thanks.